Bigger is not always better. Somewhere between growing up and growing older, I realized that life's lessons do not always come in the form of a direct statement. Sometimes it is best to read between the lines. While living in Texas, I decided it might be best if I moved my aging parents down from Pennsylvania to be closer to me here in Texas. At the time, both of my parents were in their early and mid-70s, and their health was starting to decline. Using my power of attorney, I bought us a house that we could all be comfortable living in together. Well up north, preparing them and myself for the move, I asked both of my parents to go through the house and set aside things they both wanted to take with them to Texas. Dad disappeared, only to later reappear with mostly items belonging to my mother. Items that he deemed unnecessary for her to take with us. Items such as seldom used specialty kitchen utensils, pans, along with a collection of books and videos about better lovemaking techniques. Mind you, the instructional books and videos were a more recent thing and not the remnants of some 60s and 70s hippie love movement. Dad, of course, decided to only take the essentials with him: clothing, bedding, his penis pump, and a video called Tag Team Lesbians. While I was going through Mom's dresser drawers of nostalgia, the content suggested a more prim and proper lifestyle. Embroidered and monogrammed handkerchiefs, gloves for any and all occasions, horn-rimmed glasses, and vintage jewelry, all spanning the years from the 30s through the 50s. It was then that my mother approached me holding an assortment of objects in her hands. She asked, shaking the objects at me, "What am I going to do with these?" And I looked to see what she was holding and realized she was holding an assortment of toys. Vinyl, latex, and silicone dildos. Yeah, I said dildos. My immediate response was, "Mom, that one is huge." "Oh, your father got me that one." "And which did you buy?" I asked, half not wanting to know the answer. She pointed to the smallest in the collection. It was made of purple latex and resembled a small tree trunk with a cute little rabbit on the side of it. I rolled my eyes and shook my head. Well, this really was not a complete shock to me, because just moments before that revelation, while helping my mother go through her closet, I discovered a selection of clothing belonging to a modern pole dancer. One piece was black patent leather and fishnet. Another was red and lacy and still managed to have less fabric overall than the silk flower daisies covering the breasts. As my mother went on to explain, all were part of some plan to rekindle something that no longer functioned, and as far as I'm concerned, no hopes of ever being revived by any form of pills, magic, or lingerie. She told me of how she put on the scanty red number and greeted my father at the door while coming home from work one day. Exhausted from work, he walked past her as if she was completely dressed. How freaking romantic. In their 70s. As harrowing as these experiences might seem from your perspective, I did learn a few life lessons by reading between the lines. I learned that all things are not as they seem. True, who would have ever imagined? If it is broke, you may not be able to fix it, no matter how many trinkets, tools, or toys you buy. And lastly, I learned that bigger is not always better. On January 23rd of this year, I received a phone call from my mother. She said she was feeling woozy and asked me to stop by. When I got there, she asked me to help her up and help her walk to her recliner chair. Halfway to her chair, she froze, gripping her walker tightly. She was verbally unresponsive. I laid her down and called 911. Paramedics performed CPR for 45 minutes. I was by her side the entire time, before, during, and after her heart attack. After her passing, I held her hand for what seemed like an eternity, and I wept. I miss you, Mom. I love you. Always. Thank you.